So this is, I'm a little distracted admittedly. Okay. So this is my friend Gary Sherman. So I get a call about, I don't know how many years ago, but Gary calls me along with his partner Joe Renzetti, who I'll show you a picture of soon.
And Joe Renzetti, by the way, won the Academy Award for doing the music for the Buddy Holly story.
Yeah. So these two guys call me, and they say they want me to co-star in a movie with Orson Welles. Right? They wanted me to I was going to be the sidekick to Orson Welles. I didn't have any speaking parts, but I played the harmonica. And, I was going to tell the full story, but we don't even really have that much time.
Just go ahead.
Okay, so Gary had written something or found something that he really loved, and it was about a place, I think in Nevada, that was hidden from the rest of the world. And a lot of the people there were mutants. And they were given a lot of money and anything they wanted by the government if they would keep quiet. Orson Welles was the mayor of the town, but he was a music lover, and he would drive around on this flatbed truck with a symphony orchestra on the back. And his sidekick was this harmonica player that didn't have any arms, but had speakers in his shoulders and a harmonica attached to his prosthesis. And anytime Orson Welles would have something to say, he would get a response with a harmonica, and that was going to be me. And then Orson Welles died. So anyway, Gary and Joe said, we promise we're going to call you and do something else. And I went, yeah, sure. So maybe about 4 years later, they called back.
Correct.
And they said, we got a project for you. And just tell you a little about Gary. He's a famous horror film. I mean, he's done many, many things, but he's really famous, especially famous for his horror films. This is my favorite, Dead and Buried. The creators of Alien bring a new terror to Earth, Dead and Buried. It will take your breath away. All of it. Poltergeist 3. And we'll have Gary on sometime, and he's got an amazing story about Poltergeist 3. So he also did, this is Missing Persons, remember that on ABC? This was Whose First Job? He gave Stephen Colbert his first job. And Stephen Colbert played, I think, on the first episode of this. And a long time ago he did
Vice Squad.
Vice Squad. On the street, the real trick is staying alive. And he also did this one called Raw Meat or Death Line, which he's really, 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 really famous for, about the London tunnels.
Subway system.
Anyway, yeah, real horror film.
And that's our friend Joe Renzetti.
Joe Renzetti, who did the Bristol Stomp. He produced and played guitar on the Bristol Stomp in the 50s, and with the Brill Building and all that kind of stuff. And here's Joe Renzetti.
He's a composer. He's done film scores for many, many famous movies and Academy Award-winning composer, composer.
So it was him and Gary that had approached me. And by the way, Joseph just sent me an email about my Minnie Mouse stroke. Dear Corky and Holly, sorry to hear about Corky's health scare. I know everyone's now giving you advice, which I know can be very boring, but that never stopped me from piling on. Here's what my diagnosis is. I think your episode was caused by playing too much funk. There are funkaloids that accumulate in the body over years if you overdo the funk or soul. You must get back to Hindemith. Cheers, all the best, Joe Renzetti. And his little closing line here is, not a member of any organized union. I belong to the AF of M, the musicians union.
They're not organized.
So that's Joe.
That's Joe, and he lives in Upper Black Eddy, and that's Corky's brother from another mother, Gary.
Yeah, so anyway, they invited me to do this movie called Wanted Dead or Alive, and it was all my whole part was gonna take place in a little log cabin in Upper Black Eddy, Pennsylvania. Beautiful recording studio, and Gary Sherman, here, show another picture of Gary Sherman.
Here's Gary.
Gary Sherman and I, and Joe Renzetti and Holly, spent 2 weeks in this beautiful recording studio doing the music to Wanted Dead or Alive. And here's the poster. It's with Rutger Hauer and Gene Simmons. And the one part I remember, and I'll be able to play some of it for you, is when when Gene Simmons, I believe, or one of the terrorists, were being rolled underneath a car, run over by a car, but not just run over by a car, but
Rolled.
rolled. And I was supposed to play the harmonica.
It was quite gruesome.
and quite gruesome. And I'm watching this, and Gary and Joe are going, more intense, more intense, more intense, more intense. My ribs hurt for a full week after that episode. So that's Rutger Hauer, Wanted Dead or Alive. And I'm gonna play. We're gonna close this out. So you guys could meet me at my live stream.
At the Zoom.
I'm a little shaken, admittedly.
Yeah, that sort of threw him. Sorry,
live
honey.
stream, not live stream, a Zoom at close to noon, or maybe a little late. Corkymusic.com/stream will give you the information. Corkymusic.com/stream.
On the
I
Zoom.
hope that works. And now I'm going to play for you. If I could find it. Where is it? Oh, I had it up, and it's not there. I'm going to play
So
for you
Corky's
the
going
closing
to play
credits.
the closing credits that are really, really
I
fun.
have to find them now, 'cause
And,
I think I shut this whole thing down. a little
So
bit.
he's we're having an interesting time. May your life be interesting, right? I don't know why the YouTube didn't work
There it
today,
is.
but there you go. But he's found it. Here we go.
Let me start it from the top. Okay.
So we'll see you over on the Zoom. Where can they Zoom, Quark?
Corky,
He's disappointed.
corkymusic.com/stream.
Stream. See you there. See you there. All the best. Bye-bye. How do we,